How has a parent dressed their child that made you say, "You've got to be kidding me"? 1. When my daughter was in kindergarten, we were meeting some other parents and her classmates at a park for the afternoon. One of the girls showed up in a t-shirt with a large picture of 2 cherries on it and the caption, "Pop my cherry." I was really shocked by that. Who even makes clothes like that for little kids? The mother was Russian, and although she spoke English quite well, it's not her native language. She was not aware of the implied meaning of that phrase. My friend and I gently explained what it meant, and she was genuinely mortified. She turned the shirt inside out. So really, it was just a misunderstanding. 2. Thanks for the A2A. As a preschool teacher, I've seen it all. Snow boots in August? Check. Tank top in January? Check. 1 croc, 1 sandal, swim trunks, and a backward t-shirt? Check, check, check. If there's one thing I've learned in my time teaching 3-year-olds, it's that you have to pick your battles. This is why I rarely judge what my students wear. On more than one occasion, I've had a stressed out mom burst into tears at drop-off when I ask how they are. If sending their kid to preschool with their t-shirt backward helps them get through the morning, I'm not going to judge. Sometimes I'll fix it, or sometimes I'll just leave it if the kid insists that's how they want it. Except for the tank top in the dead of winter, no judgment, but I couldn't let her go all day freezing. She was happy to wear Miss Stephanie's sweatshirt all day. The only time I judge is when it's the opposite. I had one mom who would send her daughter in every day in a fancy, frilly dress from a boutique, her curls gelled, with a massive bow on top, and clean, shiny Mary Janes. It was adorable. She always looked like she had stepped out of the pages of a Carter's catalog. By the end of the day, no matter how hard I tried, something would be messed up. She might have scuffed her shoes, gotten dirt on her dress at recess, or taken her bow out. Her mom would be furious, ranting and complaining that I couldn't keep her daughter's outfit picture perfect. I gently suggested she send her in play clothes, but it always fell on deaf ears. It got to the point where the preschool director had to get involved. When she backed me up, the mom simply pulled her daughter out. I hope whatever preschool she ended up at had better luck than I did, or went somewhere without dirt, dust, paint, markers, glue, water, food, or other kids. So far, that's the only time I've ever thought, "You've got to be kidding me," when I saw how a child was dressed. 3. We had a summer fun birthday party for my daughter and explained in the invite that there would be water balloons, paint wars, a watermelon eating contest, tacos for lunch, and swimming in our nice, crystal clear, heated pool. Yes, I did put that on the invite, along with other messy summer activities, and asked parents to dress their kids in clothes that could get ruined. I also mentioned that if they needed clothes provided, they should let me know their child's size and to please send a swimsuit. One mom brought her twins, a boy and a girl, in a nice suit complete with tie and vest, and her daughter was dressed like a flower girl at a posh wedding. She hadn't even RSVP'd and had made it clear earlier that they wouldn't be coming. She just dropped them off and left. Fortunately, another mom had some spare clothes for the kids so they could have fun. When the mom came back, she was absolutely livid. She never mentioned they were actually going to a formal wedding afterward. The kids were wet, painted, and exhausted from spending 4 hours at my house having fun while she got ready for the wedding. 4. A 12-year-old boy, slightly overweight and known for making unrelated comments, was often teased and bullied by his classmates. His mom sent him to school in dress pants that were slightly too small, at least 2 inches too short, and dress Oxfords that were worn and unpolished. He wore a belt and suspenders over a slightly small white dress shirt. The staff was aware of his struggles and tried to protect him. His mom was invited in for a consultation where his clothing, his comments, and the unkind treatment by classmates were discussed thoroughly. Despite this, nothing changed. We tried to get him into a private school, but his grades were not high enough for a scholarship, and his mom wouldn't consider a publicly funded religious school. We started letting him leave 5 minutes early for pickup instead of taking the bus, but his mom forgot more often than she remembered. After another conference, she agreed to buy him jeans, a start, we thought. He came in jeans rolled up several inches, with the same dress shoes, a belt, and suspenders over a white dress shirt. 5. It was a warm day at the beginning of summer. My daughter had been running around barefoot all day. I was taking her to a memorial service for one of my clients. She quickly showered, got dressed, and was ready to go. I told her to grab her shoes, and she said she had a pair in the car. In the car, she put her shoes on, and everything seemed fine. When we arrived, she jumped out wearing white knee-high go-go boots from Halloween. She was maybe 7 years old. Everyone was looking at her, trying to figure out whose child she was because she was sitting with my boss and clients. After the service, I apologized profusely. My boss laughed it off, but I learned to always check the shoes. 6. I saw a small girl, about 7 or 8, wearing an off-the-shoulder dress in a restaurant. It looked strange on a child with no bust, as there was no cleavage to support such a low-cut dress. Shortly after, I went shopping with my 8-year-old granddaughter for a Christmas dress. I found totally inappropriate dresses for small children, off-the-shoulder, backless, with spaghetti straps. It's cold in New England at Christmas, and no 8-year-old needs to dress like an adult at a formal event. I ended up making a dress for her with green satin, lace, a big bow, and long sleeves. Her mother was grateful, and she was very happy. 7. My sister-in-law is pretty high maintenance, perfect hair, perfect clothes, perfect makeup. Luckily, she found her match in her husband, who is just as much of a perfectionist. I always joke that while their child would be standing to the side in name brand clothes, ours would be playing in the mud in play clothes. My son was born first, and we dressed him in practical, functional clothes like the 3-pack onesies from Walmart. Babies grow fast, so we opted for affordable options. My nephew was born 7 months later, and everything had to be expensive and name brand in limited colors: white, gray, navy, or black. My husband once looked at the website where she bought his clothes: $20 for a pair of baby socks, $80 for jeans. It was crazy. They soon realized how much money they were wasting when my nephew had frequent diaper blowouts. They often ended up needing dry cleaning. Eventually, they switched to cheaper clothes at home, but he was still dressed in designer outfits when they went out. At daycare, his expensive clothes were often ruined, and they would complain about the cost of having a child while wondering how we could afford a second one. Go figure.